All right, so if your local service business is doing more than $1 million a year in revenue, these might be the things that might be holding you back to scale further. So we're going to talk about in this video basically the ways to get more leads for your business that you might not have thought about or that you might not be applying to right now, ways to improve your online reputation, your website, or your content that you might not be doing right away or you're not doing currently, and all the ways you can improve your sales process as well that you might not be currently doing. So if you're doing $1 million a year of revenue plus, you've got a good lead flow, you got a good amount of leads going in, you have a good system going, you probably have an automation set to do your whole business and to run your whole business. In any case, there's ways to get leads that you might not have considered before. So there's the more hidden ways. So if we were to go here, there's more ways that are, if you could say, that don't capture as much as the market as maybe your traditional SEO or the type of SEO you've done in the past, or the types of strategies you've done to optimize your website in the past. But you have some that might capture the slice of the market you aren't capturing now. So I'm going to talk about the small ones that you might not be doing, as well as the big major ones that you might not be doing. So first, actually, I'm going to cover the big major one. The big major one would be programmatic SEO. This is something we've done for companies in the past. I have case studies on my YouTube channel covering these. Basically, programmatic SEO is creating a page for every single service you have, every region you serve, every region and service combination. You have to adapt all these pages to all the languages you have, optimize it for SEO, and upload the sitemap after to Google. Basically, what this means is that your website, let's say, is ranking currently on Google in your local market for your service, your main service. Let's say it's roofing. Maybe you're in the top 3, top 2, you're maybe number 1. And so you're getting leads from that ranking. Now, the thing is that you're probably ranking for 10 keywords, 20 keywords, or your top 30 keywords you're ranking for. Now, you have these other keywords around it, maybe 50 other keywords. There's a bunch of ways people could search you up. And so if you are to try to capture more of the market, and try to get more leads, and try to increase the amount of revenue you're getting, basically you want to capture that side of the market. Now, the thing is that having a website, probably you have a website that's good enough. And so it's capturing the top, the 80% of the market in terms of rankings. You're ranking high enough. But what you could do is you could create pages for every single service you offer, every single region you serve, to basically capture those keywords that you aren't capturing right now. So I'll give you an example. If you're a roofing company in Montreal, you might be getting roofing. If somebody types roofing Montreal, roofing MTL, roofing Quebec, they might find your business. But if they write commercial roofing Montreal, they don't find your business, or maybe you're not ranking for that keyword. If they're writing something more specific, roofing repair Montreal, or not even Montreal, they're just saying roofing repair services, you might not be ranking for that. And so creating a page for every single one of these services is going to allow you to rank for those. Now, the strategy that I would implement and that we implemented in the past, so if I give you an example in terms of the case studies, let's say for Elko Roofing, we're able to increase the website by around, I believe it was something to 186 pages. And that is the main reason we're able to increase the amount of visitors to their site by 300%. So they were already getting some leads to the website. They had 17 in the same time period, but we were able to increase it to 50 to 87. So depending on you measure it, in any case, 50 at minimum. So basically a 2.94x increase in leads, basically, or I would say primarily with this programmatic SEO approach. And same thing for ClickShip and all the other businesses we work with. Now, it's kind of easier said than done. Basically, what you would want to do is list out every single service you offer. So if you offer roofing, that's going to be, you have your roofing on top, and then you have all these sub-services, and then all these sub-services below that. So if you're doing roofing, then you might want to do, maybe I could give you an example here. So if I were to copy and paste this, just to show you here. So let's say you're a roofer. You have, so you're a roofer or roofing contractor, let's say. And this is going to apply to any type of local service business. It's just that roofing contractor seems to be the easiest way to explain this. So you're offering roofing contractor, and then you're offering residential, and then you're offering commercial. So you could create a page dedicated to commercial roofing, create a page dedicated to residential roofing with all the SEO strategies within it. Then what you could do is within, let's say, commercial, you have industrial, and then you have institutional roofing that you're doing. Institutional, so that might be churches and stuff like that. So you want to have a page dedicated to industrial roofing as well as institutional roofing. Maybe in terms of residential, you're doing flat roofs as well as slanted roofs. So let's say you're doing flat roofs, then you're doing slanted roofs, slanted roofs. And so you'd have these services here as well. So now if you could imagine if you're doing basically a page for every single one of these, and that's going to keep going down and down and down. So you could even go further down below. So let's just take an example here. Let's put this at 100. So now within the slanted roofs, you have shingle roofs, you know, depending on the material you use. So shingle roofs, then you might have, you know, maybe you're doing ceramic tile roofing, maybe you're doing solar panel roofing, and so on. So if you could imagine your website as currently maybe having, you know, five service pages, maybe you're just covering these 3, or you're covering these top here. Well, what you could do is you could basically have a page for every single one of these. And so if somebody's doing a more precise search, if somebody's searching shingle roof repair, you're going to have a higher likelihood of ranking higher and beating your competitors that aren't doing this. If they're searching for ceramic tile roofing repair, you're going to have a higher likelihood of doing that as well. So basically you have a page dedicated to all these keywords, and then within the content of that page, so within that page, a shingle roof page, your title is going to be shingle roof and your description is going to be shingle roof, title tags, meta descriptions, URLs, all that's going to be optimized with shingle roof in mind. So you're going to optimize those, and that's going to allow you to rank for basically every single keyword that you can find. This strategy you could do for as many pages as you want. I could give you an example. There's Airbnb. They have basically, you know, 10 million pages, something like that, something ridiculous. I'd have to go online and check it out. But the pages they have is they basically have a page for Airbnb in every single city, in every single country, in every single town, in every single, you know, province, region that they exist on Earth. So for them, it makes sense to have a 10 million page website. In your case, most likely not. It's not going to be worth the effort. But if you are trying to address more of the market and you're really in the mode of expanding, this is going to be one of the best ways to do so. This is one of the best ways we've proven that works for us, for our clients, but it's something you could probably implement. So that's going to be the number one tip if you're trying to scale to more than $1 million a year in terms of revenue for your local service business. Then number 2, I'm going to cover the smaller aspects. So, and by the way, if you haven't optimized your website, it would be good to optimize your website in terms of structure and design and test out what your conversion rate is. And then after that, push with all the amount of pages. Because obviously if you're doing the pages first and then you have to optimize every single page a second time, that might be too tedious to do. And so best to optimize your website first for conversions and then go for the increase in terms of pages. So that's going to be number 1 here. Number 2 is going to be getting basically in the sides of the market that your competitors aren't doing. So everybody's on Google My Business. If you're at that level, you're on Google My Business, or most likely you're on Google My Business. If you're not, then it will be likely a good idea for you to do so. But most of your competitors are going to be on Google My Business. Most of your competitors are going to be on, you know, social media. Most of your competitors are going to be on the public directories. Most of your competitors are going to be doing all the other strategies to attract more attention online. Now, what you can do is go for the secondary ideas, so the less or the more hidden ideas. What is that going to be? Well, that means, let's say for your review sites, if everybody's on Google My Business, you have it optimized already. You can't really push it to be better in any real way. What you can do is create a profile on all the other review sites and get some reviews there as well. You could ask the same clients who give you reviews on Google My Business to basically duplicate the reviews on these profiles. Maybe you could incentivize them to do so. In any case, if you get reviews on these sites, what happens is that you'll be able to be number 1 on all these platforms. So maybe in your local market on Google My Business, you're number 3, number 4, number 5, or even number 2. Now you're now ranking number 1 Google My Business, and there's not much left to do to improve it, and you just have to wait basically. What you can do is you can start ranking for these. And so maybe 10% of the market is going to search through Trustpilot and not Google My Business. Well, now you've got 10% of the market that believes that you are the authority, you are the source of business within your market. And so the idea behind that is just you're going to be the best on Yelp, you're going to be the best on Trustpilot, the best on Better Business Bureau, and so that 15% of the market or 10% of the market that's seeing you here is going to have a better impression of you than here. So you've just captured, 10% of the market that is searching through review sites. Then it's going to be the same thing for your maps. So if you're going on if you got your Google My Business, people are searching up on Google Maps. Well, people actually search up businesses on Apple Maps as well, big places for business. Waze Maps, MapQuest, and all the other maps. So same principle. You have profiles on all of these. Your competitors are only doing Google My Business. Well, now you've got yourself the number 1 spot on Apple Maps, Bing Places for Business, and so on. So even if it's a lower size of the market, it's less significant, but it's so it's relatively easy to implement. It's relatively easy to compete for, because most of your competitors are not going to have thought about this. And so you could just apply these strategies, get maybe 10% of the market here, 10% of the market there, and so you could just compete with your business in a way that's not less direct. And obviously the best way would be to go direct. But if you've done all these things, and if you're at a certain level, you've probably achieved, you've probably done all the optimizations you can, and then you're just getting beat because the person's been in business for 20 years longer than you, then what you're going to have to do is probably go through this strategy here. Now, one thing I have to mention for these strategies is that depending on the type of expertise you have in these, they could be difficult, they could be easy. In the case of doing the maps, they're going to be relatively easy to do. Same thing for the review sites. The difficult one is going to be the programmatic SEO, so building all those pages. But in case of these minute ones, they're going to be a lot easier for you to implement. So you got that there for that. Then you got all the other directories. So again, maybe the competitors have Google My Business profiles and all the top ones, but they don't have profiles on all the other platforms. And so if you have some that are industry dependent or location dependent, and people are searching you up or searching your service on those, there's a percentage of the market that's doing that. If it's 5%, well, now you just got yourself 5%. You've just captured that 5% of the market. And so you could do that for local directories as well. Basically, you search up on Google, you say, roofing directories. If you're a roofing company, you say roofing directories, or you say business directories, and you just open up the 50 first links that show up on Google. You create a profile on every single one of them that are actually directories, and you just post. And you have all the information there about your business, you link to your website, and then it's an SEO strategy, so it helps with SEO to rank higher, but also might get you and capture leads of your business that you're doing right now. Now, all these strategies are free, and the beauty of it is that if you're able to do all of these, you're going to potentially rank higher on Google, rank higher on Maps, get your higher conversion rate, because you're going to have to optimize on all these profiles. You're going to get more views on a bunch of places. And what that's going to do is that's actually going to help your online paid advertising. Now, especially if you're doing website design and website redesign, increasing the amount of pages and so on, what's going to happen is that if you're paying for ads, if you're doing $10,000 a month, let's say, in ad spend, well, now that $10,000 is going to cost you less because your conversion rate on your website is higher. And so, taking these into consideration, they might be worth it for your business. So again, if your business over $1 million a year in revenue, these tricks might apply for you to increase your lead count and conversion rate. So conversion rate, again, you got your website, then you got your online reputation. So you're probably doing this, but something to consider is to get as many reviews as possible. That's basically asking every single client you've ever had, and you want to get a rating, I would say 4.9. So if you have a 4.9 rating on Google My Business, that is the highest converting rating there is. 5 out of 5 stars is actually a little bit worse for your business, because people don't trust 5 out of 5 stars. So it's slightly worse, not tremendously worse, but 4.9 is actually better. So 4.9 out of 5 stars is what you want to aim at. You don't even want to aim for perfection. It's actually worse. So that's how you want to consider that. And then after that, that's going to lead you to this section here, which is going to be optimizing your sales. So if you've done all these things, and these are pretty much optimized, you have a 200-page website, you have all these profiles and directories, all these minute ways, all these more hidden tricks that you've optimized for your business. Now people have noticed you. Now they inform themselves. They see your website. It's conversion. It's optimized for conversions. Now their reputation is good. You have enough reviews and so on. Now they end up contacting you, and this is where you can potentially get another boost in sales, because maybe you haven't set up at this level of your business. You haven't set up these automations. You haven't set up AI chatbots to communicate with people outside of your business hours and so on, which is an opportunity we have now. So let's say if people are inquiring to you, they're texting you, they're emailing you, they're DMing you, whatever, outside of your business hours, what you could do is you could set up AI chatbots to basically communicate with them outside of your business hours. And so to keep these leads engaged, keep these leads warm. And so the next day when your secretary could give them a call, they're going to be a lot more engaged with your business and a lot more likely to end up purchasing from you. This is going to be the case also if you're missing calls. So if somebody's calling you after your business hours or on the weekends or holidays, whatever, you can have an AI secretary that answers them back. This is not to the point yet that I would implement these in most businesses, but what you can do is a missed call text back. So basically you have an AI chatbot connected to your phone number, and so they text back the person as soon as they missed the call. It says, hey, sorry we missed the call. We're open tomorrow at 5, but I can answer every question that you have. So engages the client again, keeps them more engaged with you, then increase the likelihood that they actually end up purchasing from you because they've got rapport with your business, they got their answers, their questions answered, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be the same thing for your form fill outs. If they're filling out forms, you could do that as well. If you're booking appointments, so if you're a book and call type business, you have those optimizations like your thank you page, your appointment reminders, your warm-up flows and all the type of emailing flows. If you haven't set these up, I would say the number one thing would be appointment reminders. If you're getting a bunch of appointments and people aren't showing up, so your show up rate is probably under 70%, that would indicate as being critically an issue. Then what you could be doing is setting up these appointment reminders, basically 24 hours before, 3 hours before, 1 hour before. That just engages people right before the call to increase the likelihood they show up. And then that leads to you down the line to an increase in terms of purchases to your business. So that's pretty much it for this video. This is what I wanted to cover as an overview. I have videos going in depth into every single one of these things and how to implement these in more of a how-to fashion. So if you want to check those out, there's going to be basically you could go on my YouTube channel and check all those out. If you want access to our 12 trainings, we have 12 trainings that are free. So they cover every single aspect that we talked about in this video. If you want to download those, you can download those and basically implement those tricks. There's going to be more information in these. This was more of an overview, but these have a lot more information. It's more in depth. It has even a checklist associated with it for you to implement these strategies. So that's basically it. If ever you want to work with us, Vizions Digital, I'm Alex. I'm the founder of the agency Vizions Digital. If you want to work with us, I'm more than happy to see if we can help your business. So if you want, you could just book a call by pressing the button, basically going on the description below, pressing the link to our website, vizionsdigital.com, and you can book a call there. You could see, depending on the type of services we offer, which one might interest you the most. We tend to work, or we prefer to work, I would say, with businesses that are doing over $1 million a year in revenue. This is why I wanted to make this video, as well as businesses that are doing over $4 million a year in revenue. The reason being is that if we are able to increase the amount of visitors you get to your site by 10%, well, 10% for a $4 million a year business is significantly more in terms of the bottom line than a $1 million a year business. In any case, if these tricks apply to you, I hope they helped, or else you could contact us and we'd be more than happy to see if we can help your business. So that's pretty much it for this video. Comment if you have any questions. I always want to add to these things and keep improving them. So please let me know in the comments if you have anything, any concerns, any questions. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.